Let's talk about, Dan, the epicenter of all of this. And you've been a notable bull on many of these companies, many of the technologies that are at the center of the meltdown today. Does this worry you?
I mean, in my view, it's a top 3 buying opportunity that I've seen in the last decade for tech. And the reason I'm saying that, I spent the whole weekend talking to tech executives, CIOs, individuals that I know that are going down the sort of AI arms race or going through use cases. In no way of really 25 companies does this change their sort of plans, and a lot of these could be 7, 8, even upper 8-figure type budgets. I just continue to view this as it's a model, and a lot of the details I think still need to be vetted out in terms of 6 million. Do they actually have the H100s, how they actually built it? But this is something we're going to look back on, and I think the street and the market got this way wrong. In no way does it dent our bull thesis. That's what we've been telling clients really since the weekend. These are the times you own these names.
Dan, not all of the companies at the center of the sell-off today are necessarily affected the same way. Mm-hmm. Chip stocks, Nvidia, Kelly mentioned it, $500 billion in market cap lost. That's more than the size of ExxonMobil. That's roughly the size of United Health Group in terms of an entire company lost in market value. Some are affected more than others. Mega cap technology, not as much so across the board as, say, Nvidia per se. Mm-hmm. When this is a buying opportunity, how much of a buying opportunity and how specific do you have to be?
Well, first on Nvidia, that continues to be, I think, the golden goose in terms of what Jensen and that company are ultimately. There is one chip in the world. There's one GPU that's fueling AI, and it's Nvidia. And when you think about these build outs, when we talk about the enterprise, the $2 trillion of AI CapEx next 3 years, that doesn't change from DeepSeek. We're talking about 1/1000th of ultimately the build out that you're going to need for a lot of these enterprise use cases. You look at names like Palantir, you look at the hyperscalers. I could argue with inferencing, if you actually think costs are coming down, it's actually bullish for even some of the software players, names like Salesforce, ServiceNow, Oracle, and others. I just think this is when you look at Nvidia, I think we sit here 6, 9, 12 months from now and look at this as a moment. It was a golden buying opportunity, and in no way changes our bull thesis for where this is all headed.
A seemingly modest yet groundbreaking achievement by a rising Chinese AI firm known as DeepSeek sends ripples of anxiety through the investment community. With heavyweights such as Nvidia, Microsoft, Meta Platforms, and Tesla on the edge, one can't help but wonder, what does this mean for the future of AI and the financial world? Enter analysts like Munster and Dan Ives, who believe this market turmoil might well be an overreaction. This captivating narrative has caught the eye of investors worldwide, promising both opportunity and caution as they navigate these uncharted waters. Welcome back, everyone, to Investocracy.
All about one thing this morning, Carl.
That is for sure. This morning's sell-off sparked by this Chinese AI startup called DeepSeek. If you haven't heard about it by now, it has surged to #1 on Apple's App Store. It has surpassed ChatGPT. Its success with a less expensive model has taken a toll on shares of Nvidia and other chip makers. Jim, Andreessen calls it the AI Sputnik moment.
Right. I mean, look, I think you can certainly make any claim you want. I think that what matters to me is, in the end, is numbers. Do you pause your NVIDIA orders? Do you just say, you know what, I've spent a lot on NVIDIA, now I can hold back? Or is it some sort of prisoner's dilemma where if you hold back, then maybe Ellison goes and buys? I think that NVIDIA's really the target here because it's cost so much money and it just doesn't seem to be able to command that kind of money if this is that good. But David, I'm going to leave you with something that I think is really important.
Please.
What?
Please leave me with something that's really important.
Well, I mean, this is a Chinese product.
It is.
Okay, so what I put into my very helpful DeepSeek is what famous picture has a man with grocery bags in front of a tank? And it initially says the famous picture you're referring to are Tank Man, Unknown Rebel, June 5, 1989. Within, I'd say, maybe about as fast as Saquon got that first touchdown, it says, it takes that back and says, sorry, I can't help you with that. And then secondarily, it says, sorry, that's beyond my current scope. Let's talk about something else. So against the idea that you're spending too much on NVIDIA is a censorship that I don't really think American companies can trust.
By the way, a warning to everybody who's downloading it as well. Read the terms of service. Just read them carefully. I believe they may have access to all of your Gmail. and
I
be
did
able
it-
to
I did it
crawl
last
all over
night.
it, well, you may want to get rid of it. That's got to be an
that's
issue.
that's
as
something
we,
I really
of course,
want.
continue to talk about and debate TikTok as a national security threat. Just keep in mind. Now, that said,
Take that
when
off
it
right
comes to DeepSeek, listen, it was December 30th when we first heard about the performance of this Chinese AI model. Deirdre Bose has done great reporting on it since then as well. It was
She's
the
done
20th.
fabulous work.
It was the inauguration day when we got these latest numbers. So even though we heard this was on the 20th and sort of built as that last week went along, you had the Stargate announcement of 100 billion, maybe as much as 500 billion. You had Zuckerberg on Friday say 60 to 65 billion in capex. You had Nadella reiterate 80 billion for Azure. So the numbers, to the extent that these leaders in technology were at least somewhat aware of this, did not get impacted. And you've got a lot of panic this morning and over last night. First I heard about Jevons paradox was last night, I have to say. And now,
Good luck escaping it
in
today.
the 12 hours since then, I've heard about it 17 times. I was like, who? Last night, I'm like, who's Jevon? Come on, man. And it's like, well, it's this economist back in 1865 in Great Britain talked about the coal industry and said, hey, listen, if you haven't improved the efficiency with a natural resource,
It's Occam's razor.
you actually get a lot more usage. That is being used by the bulls this morning as a reason why nothing will really change. Yes,
I know. Isn't it funny?
the
We heard that
performance of DeepSeek is real. The efficiency is real. How they got there?
The buzz surrounds DeepSeek's strides in AI, which have undeniably disturbed the calm waters NVIDIA once sailed smoothly. Yet, is the panic justified? Or is it simply a case of the market crying wolf? Gene Munster, renowned for his perceptive market analyses, took to X to share his take. His words carried weight. I believe the market is overreacting to DeepSeek's success, a sentiment echoed by some who have witnessed NVIDIA's stock dip below its 200-day moving average, a first in 2 years, marking a disquieting shift. While DeepSeek's AI models might have triumphed in terms of cost efficiency and performance, it opens up a broader conversation about AI infrastructure's future. But before going on with the video, are you into cryptocurrency? If so, check out our second channel, Investocracy Crypto. We bring you breaking news, expert analysis, and the latest trends in the fast-moving world of digital assets. Whether you're a seasoned crypto investor or just curious about the future of finance, we've got something for you. Click the link in the description to subscribe to Investocracy Crypto now. Don't miss out and stay ahead of the game. Now, let's get back to the video.
We don't know how many chips they really use.
We don't.
But they're not exactly.
When Andrew had on the guy from Scale of AI.
Anthropic?
No, on Friday. Scale AI,
Oh, yes.
sorry. He said 50,000 GPUs from NVIDIA, H100s. We don't know.
And not the powerful ones.
Thank you, Alexander Wang. But we do know that their model training involves reinforcement learning, lighter weight techniques called group level policy optimization versus proximal policy optimization. They skip supervised fine tuning. They use other techniques such as multi-head latent attention, mixture of experts enhancements, and multi-token prediction. And by the way, they also distill down from using OpenAI because a lot of people have done searches where it thinks it's ChatGPT.
All right, so let me come right back to you and say, do you think that those people you mentioned at the beginning, do you think of Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Ellison, were they unaware and therefore didn't need to make a commitment of spend? Or does this just show you they were totally aware and they're dismissing it?
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't either. That's
I
where I
don't
came
really
out
know
this
the answer to
weekend.
that,
I don't know
Jim.
either.
I can't say with any.
I know, and that's what's killing me today.
Munster argues that if a more efficient training method for models is indeed on the table, the implications for AI infrastructure investment could be immense. After all, reaching the ambitious goal of artificial general intelligence could become a nearer reality. Still, NVIDIA remains a key player, especially given DeepSeek's reliance on NVIDIA's H800 chips to train their formidable DeepSeek V3 model. The fact that this task cost under $6 million only adds fuel to the debate. Is this a sign of NVIDIA's declining monopoly, or simply proof of its indispensable technology? But before going any further, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
Determinate.
But from a stock market perspective, I mean, you take a look at today, it's going to be power. It's going to be the data center companies. Vertiv is getting crushed.
Yeah, the so-called build out.
Right. Because there is this question as to whether you can do a lot more with less and therefore you need fewer chips and less power, or Is Jevons paradox going to be proved correct yet again?
Well, exactly. I was wondering that myself when I was looking at GE Vernova and Constellation Energy Group. Look, Carl, I think that in the end, again, it always comes back to, can NVIDIA make its numbers? And I think it's harder. You know, I like NVIDIA, but I think it's harder. We haven't heard from them, but it's a quiet period. Who are the winners? I mean, Mark Benioff has gone out multiple times saying he's the winner. He's going back and forth with Mark this weekend. And what Mark is saying to me is, don't you see the value is in the data? The value is not in the hardware. So if you sell down Salesforce, that's like a second-day rally. Whatever the second day's rally, it's very interesting. Apple not going down. Qualcomm not going down makes no sense whatsoever, but there are adherents of Qualcomm. What I find most interesting is that the fellow travelers to these are the nuclear stocks that have been up a lot, are the Palantirs, are the memes, are the crypto. So it looks like they're all one stock, and that is not good.
Right.
That's not good because that says you have hype and froth in here that has to come out no matter what.
Where correlation spikes. Yeah.
Yes,
we're
exactly.
familiar with those types of those periods of fear,
yes,
where there's less differentiation.
While the market may appear turbulent, savvy investors recognize this period as merely a stage in the ongoing narrative of technological evolution. With Nvidia at the helm of AI advancements, the potential for growth remains promising. Analysts forecast that as Nvidia adapts to new challenges, its stock could see a resurgence, driven by its position at the forefront of AI infrastructure and chip development. But how will you navigate this stirring landscape? Share your thoughts. Finally, if you would like to know what companies like Nvidia have been up to these past few days, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen. See you there.